How's it going, everybody? My name is Xavier Solís. I'm here joined with a very, very talented artist, none other than New York City's very own Yancyabril. Let's make some noise for her. Thank you so much for joining me. Yancy, how's it going, girl?
Pretty good. I'm very excited to be here and to chat with you and ask you some fun questions. I got questions for you.
She's got questions for me. So I'm gonna be under the sun here. I'm gonna be in the spotlight a little bit as well. So, but the really fun thing is that I'm excited to get to know you more. I'm excited for everyone to get to know you more and for us to, kind of find out some fun things about each other. So, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, what you're all about, who you are, who is Yancyabril?
Well, I was born and raised in New York, so that alone says a lot about my inspiration and where I get inspiration from. I was born to a Dominican family, so that as well has a lot of influence in my music. I started music from a very young age. I was about 8 or 9. And I knew then and there that like music was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I've been professionally gigging since I was 14 and graduated college, studying jazz music. And now I continue releasing my original work. I love to infuse jazz with Spanglish, with R&B, and all the things that I love in one place. I'm trying to experiment a bit with that, and I have a lot of projects coming out soon, so you
I
gotta
love
stay tuned for that.
I love that. You got to check out her music because your music, listen, your music is you're one of these artists that I have to say, the part that really shocks me is the fact that you have so much range in terms of, style, ways of singing. It's just like you hear something like, Solita, where it's just like it's very, it's got that like those elements of like reggaeton. It's got that nice like, but it's got like a modern house twist to it as well. Like you just have so many elements, and it's like, and that's where it's gonna bring me to my first question.
Okay.
Okay, so my first question is, how do you actually choose more than one artist, one genre? Sorry. See, the thing is, like most artists actually they find one niche genre and they just kind of stick to that. But it doesn't seem like that's you. It doesn't seem like that's you. It seems like you are kind of like you got your hands in every type of cookie jar, and it's like, where did that come from?
Well, I think it came from my mom. Of course, like I mentioned, being from New York, being Dominican American, those are things alone that just inspire you every single day. But my mom, is always inspired by art, by music. She loves literature. She loves music from around the world,
Mm.
especially. And growing up, I there was never a limit to what we listened to. It wasn't just, merengue or bachata. There was R&B being played, there was hip hop, there was Arabic music, there was music from
Wow.
country music. So all of those things kind of opened my ears, my mind, my heart to music, and why I'm in love with music so much, because there's so many different ways to express whatever it is that you want to say through music, with different genres. So I never wanted to be put in a box. And I just always, I guess, always wanted to show that you don't have to only just be one style. If that's what you like, that's cool.
Mm.
But I just always loved experimenting, and I just love music. That's really why when you look at my music and you hear me live, there's so many different um places that you can put me. Like everybody kind of has, I guess you can say, a hard time trying to place me into one box
Yeah.
because they see so much diversity in what I can fit into.
Mm.
So I just really love music, and that's why there's always a blend in there. I wish I could just stick to one thing. I feel like marketing you is a lot easier when you can be like, oh yeah, she's pop rock,
Yeah.
you know? But that's not my case. And it's like a blessing. It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, I've never related to someone saying something like that more in my entire life because honestly, it's just when I always say they're like, what kind of music do you love? And I say, I'm like, I love music as a whole, right? I feel like there's something from everything to take, right?
Yeah.
So the way that you just said that, you're like, yeah, there was always something different playing. And I feel like that's what makes you such um a versatile, but also a dangerous, like just a weapon in music, is just because, it literally just, it's you got this edge that other people don't have, which is you being able to actually say, I love this track and I want to be able to throw a little bit of bachata in there, And it's like, but I want to sing it like it's a cumbia. And everybody's like, wait, what just happened? But it's just like there's different elements in there and it really shows in your voice, which I love.
You. Thank you so much. And
Yeah.
speaking of weapons, I just bought a an archery. I don't know what you call it, bow and arrow for archery.
Oh,
I don't even
snap.
know what it's called. But I remember, sorry, this is going off on a tangent. But I'm looking at it right now, and then you said weapon. I was like, okay, I'm very excited about this toy of mine. That's very dangerous, and I don't know how to use.
Oh, why archery?
Look, I don't know. There's something about it that I really love. I tried it like 2 times and I loved it and I want to get back into it. So
That's wicked. I've
all
always wanted to
set.
try it. I've never tried it.
It's a lot of fun.
That's cool. I feel like for me, I'm a Marvel fan. So it's just
Okay.
anytime that I archery, it's for me, it's Hawkeye. It's the first thing that comes,
Yeah.
right? So I'm just like, okay, I like it. I like it.
Okay, we can go back to music.
Okay, we'll bring it back in. Bring it back.
Bring
See
it
that
back.
that's that diversity thing. It's just so talking about archery while making music.
I don't know if I think that's ADHD. I don't know.
At its finest. At its
At
finest.
its finest.
That's too funny. That's too funny. That's awesome. I feel like it's important to have that balance, right?
Mm.
Because I know that for me, I get bored.
Oh
Pre
yeah.
I get bored pretty quickly. And it's just like there's a few things when it comes to music that I never get bored of, but there's some stuff that it's just kind of like I'm like, wow, like I need something different. I need something that's gonna give me a little bit more flair, that's gonna give me a little bit more energy, right? Your music does that.
Thank
Guys,
you.
you have to check out Yancyabril's music. I'm gonna keep plugging that in. You have to do it. She's
Thank
just got
you.
wicked vocals, wicked writing. Speaking of writing, you write in English and Spanish.
I do
Is
my
that something? But is that something, and you do it well though? Like I gotta be real with you. Like you do it well. Is that something you've always done, or is that something that like came along the way? How did that come up? That's my second question. How did that happen?
It came along out of no well, not out of nowhere, but I never did that when I had first started writing. I think it was after me doing The Voice Dominicana, which I was on season 2. Um, that's where I started to, well, because I had to live in DR, I had to speak more Spanish. I got better
Live
at it.
in DR?
For that year, I had to pretty much, yeah. I mean, I was
Wow.
flying back and forth, but I was mostly there. I was living with my grandmother and I had to speak Spanish. So I got better at it and I true like of course I've always appreciated my background and our music, but that's when I actually was there in the motherland, I truly found a lot of inspiration and also wanting to having this urge to put Spanish into my music and making sure that I make that clear of my Latinidad and that I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
So that kind of came along, writing the whole Spanish and English.
Yeah. No, definitely. I definitely hear that. And I feel like you really are doing that. You're straight up doing that because it's so cool how it's just like I'm hearing a song. And is that funny? I was actually showing my dad your music and I was just like, hey, I'm like, you gotta hear this, listen to this. And he was just like, and then all of a sudden, you're singing in English and all of a sudden something in Spanish comes up and no word of a lie. He's driving and he's like,
Oh,
it's like, okay,
the
cool.
dad nod.
Yeah, you
Oh,
get the dad
thanks,
nod. You get the
dad.
dad nod. And it's wicked because it throws those little gems in there,
Yeah.
right? Which I feel like the Latin music industry as a whole has been growing tremendously.
Oh yeah.
It's been taking the world by storm. Half the people don't understand what they're saying, you know? So this cool opportunity to be able to actually cater to both audiences while it's kind of like you're bridging the gap between both of them, which is
Yeah.
pretty inspiring, I have to say.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, thank you so much for saying that. But I am trying to figure out a way to make sure that I still find my target audience because it's still a
Mm.
very important thing.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so easy to choose one thing, one genre, one language, and
Yeah.
go with that. You can easily find your demographic and your fans. But when you have this bilingual thing going on and you're such a small artist, it's a little tough finding your people. So I'm trying to figure out how I can do a better balance of it, I guess, and somehow get people more interested in listening.
Yeah, no, for real, for real. You got to make money, right?
Yeah, of course.
Right? No, that's totally fair. That's totally fair. And I think that leads me into like my next question, right? Which would be like, you're an independent artist, right? And it's, do you always want to be an independent artist? Do you want to sign? Like, what's the dream? What's the goal?
The dream has always been to get signed. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you don't need a record label. Oh, record labels are sucky." I'm like, "Well, for the most part, yes."
Hmm.
But a lot of people don't understand is like, okay, labels can truly take your career to the next level. Like there will never be an Ariana Grande if it weren't for, I guess, I don't know how long she's been with Republic, but let's just say she's been with Republic since her first album.
Yeah.
She wouldn't be Ariana Grande without that label. Doja Cat won't be who she is without UMG. I think
Hmm.
that's who she's with. Fat Joe wouldn't be who he, et cetera,
Yeah.
et cetera. And I can definitely uh I would love to first sign with more of an independent label
Hmm.
as like a beginner in my career, and then once I get bigger, sign to a major label. But the goal has always been to sign with a major label because I know what they can do for me. And also, everything can be negotiated. Like if you don't like what the contract says, make sure you have your lawyer
Yeah.
um, negotiate it. And if they don't budge, then that's, you know, find somebody else, keep shopping around. Um, but yeah, my goal is always to be signed, and I don't really want to be an independent. I'm just independent because I kind of have to be.
We all are.
Yeah, we all kind of have to be and figure it out, but I refuse to throw in the towel. These past few days, honestly, it's just been like, oh, I know I've been sick, and that alone, messes with your head. But I know. Um, but I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, being an independent artist kind of just it's a lot, and we kind of do it because we have to. So, but again,
Yeah.
I love what I do, and I'm not gonna give up. And as far as for where I want to go.
And I think that's totally fair. I think that's a great outlook to have, is that viewing it as a stepping stone as opposed to forever, right? Which is a lot of things, a lot of things in the life and the world of being a musician or being an artist, is that there's a lot of things that it's like you got to realize that this is a stepping stone, right? Not every song that you release, for example, is going to be the number one hit. It's going to be something you learn from. You learn something new about working with your producer. You learn something new about the writing process. You learn something new about your voice. You learn something new about the marketing process, right? Which I feel like, as you and we've discussed before, is pretty much like the bulk of the work, right? The marketing is really, I feel like that's for me personally. I'm just like, when it comes to music, I find that making the music is the easy part, and then you get into the marketing portion of it, and then you're just most independent artists are kind of like, where do you start, right?
Mhm.
And that's where it comes kind of plays into that whole idea of this. It's like with a record label, it kind of cuts off that responsibility, and now they say, well, here's what we're gonna do.
Mhm.
And then you just kind of be the artist,
Yeah.
right? It takes away a lot of the administrative work in that regard.
Yeah.
Right.
You just want to sing, you just want to write, you just want to be an artist. You don't want to have to be the manager, the booking agent, the social media manager, all that stuff.
Literally, literally. I want a personal trainer. I don't want to have to train myself. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh man, that's so funny. And now, okay, so I have another question for you.
Hmm.
Very curious. The name Yancyabril.
Oh,
She's like, never mind. Can we skip this question?
next. No,
Tell me.
sorry, was that it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The name Yancyabril. Where'd it come from? How did it happen?
Only because I was gonna get sued for being Yancy. So
Wait,
let me
what?
explain. So there's this other artist named Yancy, and she sings like kids Christian music or something. And
Just like you. That's like, wow, you guys are the same.
the same,
Holy.
we're literally the same person. Uh, and she's this white woman from, the South, and we're just alike. So I upload my first single. It was 2019. The first single was Shut You Down.
Mm.
And all of a sudden, like the next day, I'm noticing that my song is under this other person. And I'm like, how do I fix this? I reach out to her team, whatever. They say, well, because we own the trademark of Yancy, you can't really release that. And also, like, we have the exact same name. So the DSPs kind of got confused. So they were like, well, if you don't change it, we might have to sue. Or unless if you can change it in the next like week, go ahead. So I was like, crap, what do I do? And I was going back and forth with my mom, and my middle name is actually April in English,
Mm.
Yancy April Garcia.
Beautiful.
So I was like, okay, Yancy April, it just sounds so like, eh. And then my mom was like, what if you do Abril? It just makes it nicer. It gives it that blend. And I was like, yeah, that works. So now I'm Yancyabril. And it is subject to change because I feel like it's really hard for a lot of people to pronounce and spell. So I may change my name, but for now, that's what it is.
And then it's gonna be Abril.
Actually, yeah, it might just be. I've become attached to the Abril part.
Okay, okay. Listen, I'm gonna remember this moment right here where I said that because like I want acknowledgement. No,
Gotcha.
that's no, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. No, I think it's a cool name. I honestly, it's a unique name. When I heard Yancyabril, when I heard that for the first time, I was just like, I'm like, that's a pretty cool name. Like that's wicked.
Thank
That's yeah, it's unique. Like I haven't heard that artist name, and it's all together too,
you. Yeah.
right? One thing, Yancyabril, right? Which
Yeah.
I thought was cool. So that's pretty awesome. I like that. And it's funny because like the way that I actually first found you, right, was on Instagram with one of your funny videos, right? If you haven't seen Yancy Abril's Instagram account, you have to check out her reels because the videos that you post sometimes kill me. Just my favorite one is the one that's like a guy falling off a stretcher.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
it's like you're rolling and you're just like, Hola palomitas. And I just died when I saw that. A
I'm a little bit funny, I'm
little
kind of
bit.
a little bit, a little bit.
So, okay, so last question for you. Okay. So now I understand that, you're somebody with a lot of range. You're somebody that has a lot of, inspirations with music and stuff like that. But I gotta ask, right? Who is the inspiration? Who are the artists? If there's more than one, who are the people that's kind of shaping that sound for you internally?
Well, one person that has always been the love of my life,
Oh.
Amy Winehouse. I love her music because of her songwriting. I truly believe that my songwriting has gotten better and deeper because of
Hmm.
studying her words and how she wrote. So Amy is definitely one of my biggest inspirations. But in terms of like what I'm going for now, in terms of my own sound, I have so many, man. I mean, I love Snow Allegra. Um, if we're talking about like more of today's artists, Snow Allegra, Victoria Monet,
Mm-hmm.
Lucky Day. Um, gosh, I just have so many. And then I'm also just a very old soul. So a lot of the newer artists I'm not really into, like I am into like older pre 2009 or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so
I love that. I love that. It definitely shows. Okay, you know what vibe you kind of give me sometimes, like with your, and it's not because you're from New York. I promise you.
okay.
I get Alicia Keys vibes from you
Really, that's the
so
first
much.
I have ever gotten. Thank you.
Yeah, like I could fully see you sitting at a piano at one point and doing a song where it's just like, I know you're a guitarist,
Mhm.
right? Which is wicked, which is like, yeah, guys, she plays guitar. It's not just there for aesthetics.
For looks, right?
But it's like, but yeah, no, it's just like, I don't know, like I could fully see that, the quality of the voice and just the overall style with that R&B influence in there. I could
Thank
see that.
Alicia is definitely one of my favorite albums of hers has to be wait, actually I'm gonna butcher this. Um Not Songs in the Key of A Minor. It's The Diary of Alicia Keys. That one is
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
That's a really good album. And of course I butchered the name, but it is one of my favorite albums.
We'll cut that. We'll cut it down,
Oh, look at it.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, and I gotta ask you, like, what are you listening to right now? What kind of music are you listening to right now? What's your
I'm listening
if you
to.
open Spotify right now, what's gonna play?
I feel like I'm just listening to the same songs. A lot of Christian music actually.
Love that.
I love Kirk Franklin. Uh,
Okay. You love
there's this
Yancy?
one song, huh?
You like Yancy?
Yeah. Oh, the no comment. Tori Kelly, Whitney Houston, Sabrina Claudio, Kelsey Ballerini.
Mm.
Of course, we got some reggaeton up in here. We got Bad Bunny, we got Don Omar, we got Daddy Yankee. I'm just reading what I've recently listened
There
to.
you
And then
go.
I have Mariah Carey with Brandy. So
Okay, I like that. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna be happy that El Conejo Malo was in there, you know?
yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's really, really awesome. You ever heard of because I know you like Christian music. You ever heard of Israel Houghton?
Yeah.
Love Israel Houghton. I saw him live.
Wow. I'm gonna admit I haven't heard any of his music, but I
Yeah.
know of him and he's pretty well known in the industry. So
Yeah, yeah, for real, for real. If you like Kirk Franklin, I know that you'll probably like his stuff as well.
for sure. I'll listen.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, well, this is first half that we got done, and we'll rendezvous for the second half where now I'm gonna be in the hot seat, which is gonna
Gotcha.
be good. So I'm excited. Let's do it.